All right, we're back in the house. Ride, motherfucker, ride. Once again, here for a little sit down at the table for a little talk about Nevada. Actually, we're done with Nevada. We're going on to Idaho BDR, Section 1, and half of Section 2. I did it all on the same trip pretty much, so... But here we are, Jarbidge. Woke up Jarbidge, left there. I waited till the sun came up, and it's in a little valley, so a very tight valley. So it was probably like almost 10 when I finally left Jarbidge. But my plan that day wasn't to go all the way to Jarbidge. It was to go to about here, which is Glenn's Ferry. See, the whole section distance is 174. So, yeah, I went about 100 miles that day, just a little over 100 miles. And, yeah, it goes to Pine. And when I made it to Pine, I actually stayed in Pine for 2 nights and a day and a half. Because it rained. Saturday when I got there, it was like just about to rain, so it literally rained that night, the whole next Sunday, that night, and then it was done raining Monday, barely, but it snow all north of there in those mountains. You can check out that video to see that. Ride, motherfucker, ride. Anyways, it says it begins just south of Idaho border in historical mining town of Jarbidge, Nevada. Plan on staying the night there and hanging out with the locals at the outdoor inn. Yeah, we looked at the outdoor inn. That's where I stayed at. Matter of fact, if you want to see, here we go. Bam. Here's a picture of my bike. All loaded up that next morning. This is the outdoor inn, the actual inn part. And that was my room right there. I forget what number it was. D maybe. But my bike was parked right outside. And then, let's see, I think I got a video of that morning talking about what was going on, since I hadn't posted this anywhere. All my videos on the Nevada BDR were all on my phone. I didn't even have a computer yet, so that's why they're kind of hella limited. I'm working on it, so please bear with me, people, as I work on my channel and slowly start to make my videos better all around. You can definitely comment and let me know what you think, and maybe give me some tips and tricks. I don't know if you know what you're doing, because I don't. Here we are. Leaving Jarbidge, heading north into the Idaho BDR Section 1 today. Heading towards Glen Ferry. This is a beautiful place, Jarbidge. Come see it. Peace. Yeah, so that was it. It was a cool place. I hung out at the bar pretty late at night. Hung and got to know the lady who owned it for a really long time. She was very cool, her and her husband. But yeah, the very beginning of that trail is really nice. Like, because obviously you're still in that same, like little canyon. Actually, it looks like, yeah, that Jarbidge is in. So you follow it, and it's water the whole way. It's like a creek the whole way in. And it's in a canyon, so it's pretty high on the sides. You can check out the video, see a little bit of it, a little teaser. Yeah, and then you come up to this little tri-section here, and there's like a little campground all up and through here. It's a pretty cool little area, lots of trees, real obviously it's water. And then you bank back, come up, and then as you come here, you come up into the top here. And then that's pretty much where this picture right here is right up there is you get to looking over all these flat lands. I mean, it's just so flat up here. It's like, what the hell? But yeah. And it's a bunch of these little straightaways. Like straight up here, then bam, turn left, and you're just going straight. I mean, this is just so barren. So barren. I mean, you'll have a couple of these little spots where you like gotta cross down through a canyon real quick and then back up the other side and then just straight again. So there wasn't much to section 1. As soon as you leave Jarbidge, there's a little bit for like the first half hour or so, and then once you climb out of there, it's just a lot of barren nothing. A lot of cows. You get to looking at a lot of cows on this section, at least on the lower part, on the first half. Long straightaways with nothing. I mean, no real hard trails. There's nothing really, in the way. There's not big rocks anywhere. It's pretty straightaway trails. Not very hard as you climb up into near Glenn's Ferry. This is all on the road right here. This is all paved right here. You end up on the paved section for a little while, and as you come into Glenn's Ferry, there's a couple of cool little campgrounds. There's one right over here that I tried to stay at, but it was full, so I ended up staying at this other one in Glenn's Ferry. What was that one called? Oh, there you go. Idaho BDR Section 1. Ride, motherfucker, ride. You can watch that video. Get a little taste of it. See, nothing. I mean, there's just literally nothing out there. It's just like a barren land. Look, you're just looking, and that's what you're looking at. You're like, you can't even see where the road ends. And then when as soon as you get up here, it keeps going. And then, or it turns right and it's just nothing there either. And we finally made it. This was the little campground I was staying at in Glenn's Ferry. That was my little spot right there. That's my tent. Set my tent up. And my little chair and everything set up. The Trailer Break RV Park. That's where I was staying at. And the little sheep right there in a little pen. I thought that was cool. Had me a little bang the next morning to get me some juice. Yeah, stayed that night. That night there was a train that ran right by through there. Like, there's a train that runs through Glen Ferry. That's all I gotta tell you. And it runs through there every night at like 3 a.m. So if you stay in Glenn's Ferry, be prepared to be woke up by a train. Yeah, this is the reservoir up above, and then see, because the next morning woke up, left Glenn's Ferry, then we head north. And you get on this trail. You're on the pavement for a while, then you make this left off into the dirt, and you climb up into the little mountains here, or through these little, whatever, not the mountains yet, but cross over some couple roads on the flatlands. Couple super simple roads. You make this right on this super simple road for a while. You're hauling ass. It's not easy or not hard at all. Just more flatlands. Then you finally get up into here. You start to creep up into this canyon right here, Little Canyon Creek. And it really starts to get really green. Trees start to come out, and this is when it starts to get really nice. This is when like the Idaho BDR starts to become enjoyable right here. A Little Canyon Creek, as soon as you climb up into here, you start riding along, and it's just different trees, and you start getting into the mountains, and you start seeing animals, and the trail's really nice. The dirt starts to change a little bit. It's not as southern Nevada. It's more. Then you get around here to the Little Camel Reservoir. You're going along. You make your right up in here, and this is when you come along to the little dam. There's a dam right over here. Right here. This is where you cross over the dam. You can see the video. I got it on video. Idaho section 1. And you come in, and then pretty much for the rest of this one, for a while, you're hugging this reservoir tight. I mean, you're literally like right on the edge, but it's fucking so beautiful. Like, so beautiful. You're just hugging in here. They have little camp spots every once in a while, which is cool. There are people down there fishing. And then that's this right here. I think I was like on maybe, I don't know, maybe right here. I don't know where I was at. One of these things, I turned around and I stopped, so you can see the trail here. You can see it coming around. And it wraps around, and I'm here, and I'm looking back south. So that dam is this way over here. Yeah, the dam is this way. So I stopped back, and I look back. But see, it's still pretty low. Water's just low everywhere, that's for sure. But then you continue on, and you end up creeping around there, around this gulch, and then back around here, and then all this is just so dry now. I don't even think there is any water right here anymore. Maybe. But yeah, you get to climbing around here, and you get up to Pine, and then Pine, yeah, it's like a little gas convenience store. They got a bar there, bar and grill, which is very good. All the people that are anywhere near this place when a Boise game is on, they're at this little bar watching the game. They have like a little RV park there. They have a motel there. But you better call and make reservations, because I just showed up. And luckily the barkeep was a cool dude. Shout out to the barkeep in Pine. Because he rented me his trailer. Otherwise, I would have been in a rainstorm, literally, if it wasn't for him. Because as soon as I was pulling into Pine on my bike, literally, it was starting to pour. So I was like, okay, talking to this person, talking to that person, trying to find some shelter. Because I had a tent, but what's a tent going to do in a rainstorm? You know what I mean? What I get myself into. But Pine was a very cool place, because then I ended up meeting a couple dudes. Harley, shout out to Harley. Tom, shout out to Tom. Tom, I believe, was staying like right over here. Like he had set up somewhere like right across this little, because there was like a little creek right here that I took a bunch of pictures by. I believe he was set up like right over off of this road somewhere. And then I met Harley literally by the little motel. He pulled up on his bike, and I was just sitting by the trailer, just looking off into the mountains, just enjoying the view, because the fucking view around here is just awesome. And he was sitting there on his BMW bike, and I went over there, started talking to him, and then Tom came over, started talking to us, and then we all met up at the bar, had some drinks, became friends, and then Harley was trying to figure out where he was going to stay at, and Tom was like, oh, I'm staying right over here. I got my stuff set up. So Harley was like, oh, I'm going to come set up by you. So he went over there, and they had their little campsite. And then, yeah, I was over here in a trailer. And then, yeah, we met up that next morning. We all decided we were going to leave Monday morning, and we were going to head north. Tom was just going to tag along with me and Harley, because he had his truck and everything set up there. So he wasn't going to continue. He was just using that as a base camp. But Harley was going north. He was going to do a majority of the BDR himself. So we tagged along together, decided to tag along together and do that half section or whatever. Because I'll tell you what. When I got to Pine and felt how cold it was, and then that rainstorm came through, it just literally turned this whole section into like all these mountains up here were all covered in snow. So it was like freezing temperatures. And you got to remember, when I left Nevada, I was hot and sweaty. You know, I was not dressed for like cold mountainous conditions. So I had like regular like motocross riding gloves on, like, you know, base layer of everything is all for Nevada. You know, I was going into Idaho because that's where I wanted to end up, was at Boise to visit family, but I wasn't prepared for that cold. So Harley was trying to get me to go with him further north. I would have been so down if I would have had a little bit colder gear, like just tent, sleeping bag. I think my sleeping bag was rated for like 50 degrees, so I would have been fucking freezing. Like my tent was like definitely a summer tent, so that wasn't gonna fucking work. But anyways, we had a good time in Pine. I met a lot of cool people in Pine. There are a lot of cool people who live in and around Pine and hang out at this bar. Shout out to people at the bar in Pine, if they ever see this. And yeah, we met up the next morning, me, Harley, and Tom. I gotta say, shout out to Tom. Tom's 72 years old, and he just started learning to ride dirt bikes when he was 68. That's when he started to learn how to ride motorcycles. And he's out there, I swear he was leaving me in the dust. Like, I felt like, damn, I'm a rookie for real. Like, I better catch up. You know what I mean? I got some work to do if I'm going to catch up with Tom. You know, Tom's kicking ass on this dirt bike, and he's 72, no fear. So he definitely put a little spark in my ass. Anyways, met up with him and Harley the next morning at the little cafe. We had breakfast, and then we fucking headed north, and it was cold. So I definitely can say you can watch that video, little teaser on that, you know. See, we ended up in the, I think they're called Trinity Lakes. Yeah, this is just a good section. I can say Idaho definitely sparked my, double sparked my interest in BDRs. Because I was just, you know, I had been watching it and seeing it on the internet, and I was like, I got to do one. So I started with the Nevada one, which is kind of lame. A couple sections were good. I should say sections of sections. Most of it was just lame, straight desert stuff. But then I got into Idaho, and Idaho really showed me, like, what's out there. But anyways, we get to all up in here. I mean, this is just beautiful, up and down and around, all through the mountains, just big, beautiful trees, but it's cold as shit. Fucking cold as shit. Anyways, we get here. Instead, we go this way. We make this left off of the BDR and come up here to the Trinity Lakes, which if you watch the video that I made on the half section Idaho, you can see some drone footage of this area right up here with the snow capped mountains and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty dope. Yeah, it's another picture of the reservoir. And you got to make sure you get gas at the gas station in Pine when they're open. And I'll tell you what, I heard actually that's what had happened. They had ran out of gas. So when we went to, me and Harley were like, oh shit, they don't have gas. Luckily, Tom saves the day, and he's got a bunch of gas in his trailer back at camp that he had brought with him. So he was like, I can fucking hook you guys up, fill your guys' gas tanks up so that you guys are topped off as you guys head out for the rest of the BDR. Shout out Tom. Tom's cool as fuck, man. That old dude, man, gave me some inspiration, man. There was a bunch of birds, big-ass birds just flying around out there over Pine. This is like the view from where I was staying at. See this edge over here? This is like the trailer. I was staying in like a fifth wheel. Right, there's my feet looking out. This is my view. That's why I stayed there for a couple days, man. I was just like, man. Plus, it was raining. I didn't want to ride in the rain. I probably could have, but we don't want to look at a bunch of pictures of my feet. don't know what I got in here. It's some of that creek action. You hear the crickets. You can even hear the traffic in the background on that road. The road wasn't far, but it was just one little road. Just so beautiful. There's a few little clips here of what was it? Pine. It was all pine. I just put on my flip-flops one day and just started walking. Started adventuring around a little bit, seeing what was going on. That was just so beautiful. Yeah. That's what you get out there for, man. You get out there to kind of disappear off into it and, really see what's going on in the world outside of the city. A bunch of random pictures, off the bridge right there. That's a bunch of random pictures of pine, because I was there obviously for a day and a half. Oh, actually almost 2 days. But see what was there. I do got a cool couple drone photos, I believe. Oh, that's the other section. Oh, that's a one from Jarbidge. Oh, we're way off. There you go. That's a drone shot from Pine, looking south towards the reservoir. It's pretty badass. If you go to on the video, there's barely any drone footage on there, and of course I screwed up and deleted the drone footage somehow, or misplaced it, whatever you want to say. This is where we were staying at right here. This is where my crosshairs is. That's where I was staying. That's the trailer. And then over here is the bar. This is the little hotel. This is the little RV section. And then this is the trail, the road coming in, and then going out this way north. It's a beautiful place. Now, this is an overhead view of Trinity Lake. This is Trinity Lake right here. This is the mountains in the background. That's what I was talking about. It was fucking freezing up there. Like, there wasn't snow all over the trails or nothing, but like the mountains were literally snow capped. Like, in every direction you could look, you could just see just for days. I wonder if I got a good one of the lake. Oh, it's a total different trip. That's it. That's all I deleted the rest. I lost the rest. But anyways, that part was just gorgeous right here in Trinity Lakes. Those are some shots from there from the drone. There's a little bit of video footage, obviously, on that BDR half section Idaho 1.5 section. I forget what I titled it. But then you come in out of there. Tom went his way. He went back towards Pine at that point when we split off, and we went north. Me and Harley, we rode for the rest of that day. That was the most beautiful 100 miles, man. From there to Lowman, through all this, was just beautiful. When we got to a certain point, we came to a road close sign. It was talking about this and that, and it was like, we'll just go, and we just kind of blew by it and went our way and continued on and continued up through here, zigzagging back and forth, but as back and forth as this looks, it was very up and down. I mean, you gain an elevation, going down an elevation, gain an elevation, going down elevation, right along this ridge. But it was just so beautiful the whole way along. Like this section 2 is fucking gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. You creep all along through all this right here. Creeks and mountains and big trees, and it's just talk about refreshing, you know. So good. I mean, look how tight this gets up in here. You just do back and forth around, because you're going in and out and down and around and in and out and down and around, all the way up through there. But yeah, right here is where I went to. It's gonna be Lowman. Oh, we're in and out. Yeah, pretty much right here. See, Lowman. This is where I stopped at. I stayed in Lowman. They have a hot springs here. Actually, it's more like back here somewhere. Anyways, when you get off the trail here, when you hit this pavement piece, before you turn back up into the mountains, there's this hot spring somewhere like along here. It's super dope. If you see it, you got to stop. You got to go put your feet in it or jump in fully if you can. I stayed in Lowman. I stayed in a little hotel up the way. Made my way to Boise the next day. I was done with my trip, so that's about all I have for that experience. I mean, it was nice. I did 100. It was a little over 100 miles. It definitely got cold, and this is in September. So Idaho, I'm thinking I got to go in August to really get probably the best benefit. But yeah, that's it. That's as far as I went in Idaho. I went from Jarbidge all the way up to Lowman. This section up here, the second section, was just so beautiful. I just can't wait to go back next summer. I should say this summer. I'm planning to go back. So if anybody out there is interested in Idaho BDR, go ahead and leave me a comment. Maybe I notice I'll get back to you, and maybe you can jump in on the plan. I had somebody try to jump in on the plan last year, but it didn't quite work out. So hopefully maybe they'll see this video and maybe they'll want to jump in on this next one. Well, thanks for coming and checking this out and listening to me jabber on about nothing really, I guess, but something. My experience, doing the Idaho BDR, Nevada BDR, just riding, having fun. So thanks. Subscribe, comment, like. Keep looking out for some more content. Try to put out a couple more ride videos, some review videos on some stuff I got. Definitely comment. Let me know what you think, what you like, what you don't like. Help give me some direction here, because I'm kind of just floating around, just doing stuff. Anyways, I'd like to do another BDR series, though. But in order to do another BDR series, guess what you got to do? You got to get out there and you got to do a BDR. So let's get out there and knock out some BDRs, motherfuckers.